Welcome again to Andrew White. And Andrew, there's a big celebration for the Jewish community next week, I believe.
Well, it's one of those celebrations and commemorations because it is one of the biggest commemorations of the whole Jewish year. It is called Tish B'Av. The 10th day of Av is when Jews around the world remember all the terrible things that have happened to them, specifically the destruction of the Second Temple by the Romans. And it's also been used as a day to remember other great atrocities.
Here's Andrew in all these times. I mean, the Jewish history goes back thousands and thousands of years, but they do seem to keep getting it in the neck. They seem to be suffering as a nation far more than any other nation. Now, is that disobedience to God, or is it just bad luck?
I don't think it's either. I think it's partly because they are the chosen people of God. They are his favorite people, and therefore they suffer the most. They suffer when they do not follow the way that they're expected to. And they were told that by the prophets, weren't they?
It,
Yes,
indeed, they
you
were.
do what is right, and the Lord will bless you. You go against what the Lord says, and you will bring punishment upon yourselves. And the thing about Tish B'Av is that they remember all the different sufferings which have happened on the Jewish people since the destruction of the Second Temple. And it is mainly seen as a commemoration for the terrible destruction by the Roman Empire of the Second Temple, but also of the destruction of many other things, such as the Spanish Inquisition. And that ruined the Spanish and Portuguese Jewish communities right from Portugal to Spain and throughout the Middle East, and the destruction of the Jewish Middle East colonies, particularly what happened in the 1950s. We think about the tragedies of the Shoah and the destruction of the 6 million Jewish people under the Nazis by the Holocaust. But many people fail to remember the 1 million Jews destroyed in Babylonia by the anti-Christian regime. And many of the Iraqis over the years, my years in Iraq, all could tell you about the days when they had such wealth and domination and such gold. The gold markets were particularly known for being Christian. And then they were totally destroyed. And the Iraqi Christians were ousted and killed. And that's what went on at the time of the Shoah and afterwards until the 1950s and even the 60s.
There's clearly a responsibility of being God's people, and maybe we can look as a parallel to that with what is happening in the United Kingdom at the moment, a nation that has very little spiritual compass, background. We've gone to a humanist society in so many ways.
Well, those who are seen as God's people are seen as having to suffer when you go against the ways of God. And yes, we've seen that historically, but in our own generation, we see how much of what was thought to be a Christian nation in Britain, Europe, and America has gone against the ways of the Lord. And there is a certain internal destruction coming upon them. What do you think about that, speaking as a Christian living in Europe?
Well, the European nations generally have followed the same lines as Britain into various kinds of politics, all based on the fact that we will know the answer in the EU, of course, through Brussels and the diktats of people there, non-elected people, one has to say. There are nations like Hungary and Poland that have rejected that and still cling to their Christian traditions and are prospering significantly compared with the nations that have chosen the humanistic road.
That's very interesting. Those countries which have held to the Catholic heritage are actually doing better than those who have walked away from God.
A lot of people are hoping that Andy Burnham now takes over the reins and things will change. I have my
Well, I
doubts.
don't think they will, because we're just going down the same route as the Europeans. He is somebody who has shunned his Christian heritage. He might have a good Catholic heritage, but he says boldly that he doesn't hold to any of it anymore, taking a very extreme socialist position. And we, as believers in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we say, no, we must hold to the teachings of the divine. And at this Tish B'Av, this time of holy recognition, I shout out and say, let us get back to our God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Yes, these are very difficult times. One man, one government are not going to sort this out. And we keep saying this, Andrew. If you look at the same thing in the spiritual sense as the Church of England and many other churches, they too have gone down the humanist route.
I have got Bishop Kai coming to visit me tomorrow, and he is somebody who has stood up for the traditional biblical standards of the church in his Welsh province of Penrith. And I look very much forward to seeing what we can discuss together and what we could possibly come on Air TV and do with you, Rodney.
Well, that is good. We know Bishop Kai well. We'd done interviews with him, of course, and he has stood up there in the marketplace and spoken the truth quite often on radio, television, and on the various Christian type marches. So he's not hidden himself under the
Well,
proverbial bushel.
Rodney, I thank you that you are the one who linked us up. And Bishop Kai said, I'm so pleased. I've been trying to get hold of you for years and years, and only Rodney could do it.
Well, there you go. I
So
come in useful
Air
maybe sometime.
TV has a role.
Well, that's good news. Well, we wish you well, and tomorrow, if we can get hold of you and get hold of ourselves at the right time, we'll chat to you both and get an assessment of what is really happening. Because Bishop Kai has got his finger on the pulse.
He really has, hasn't he?
So we await that pleasure, Andrew, and we'll see you very shortly.
Might see you tomorrow.